Hi friends. I always feel so weird when I'm like, hello, it's my face. I'm Em. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time if you're new. Today we are going to be talking all things content planning, sort of paper systems, digital systems, tools to use, the whole shebang. So let's get into it. Okay, so a couple months ago, I think it was December or January, I unboxed big thunk my Laurel Denise planner, and initially I wasn't sure about it. By the end of the video I was sold. Now a few caveats here. I did have I would say an existential crisis in the middle because I could not for the life of me get over the fact that there was a spiral. So one thing that we did, and I'll show you an example with a future month, right? It's super easy. You just go in between the little O-rings and you cut. That's all it is. And then you can basically make a disc-bound notebook out of everything. Anything. Any notebook ever invented. And so once I did that, the Laurel Denise planner was like easy peasy, one of my faves. Add to lineup, add to cart, check it on out. So now the question is, right, how do I actually use my Laurel Denise planner, right? So how this looks at the very beginning, it's very difficult to get it all on the screen at once. So you start with your monthly calendar. So I use that to plan out, for example, in March, there was Go Wild. You'll see I have Go Mild written down. As well as a lot of book clubs, a lot of book tours, things like that. Some of the Plan with Lore Social Stars meetings, I wrote them all in this monthly view. And then as we sort of get into the month, you flip through the weeks. So I'm gonna quickly ignore the weeks and go back to this other side, which is essentially whatever you want it to be. I use it in this way. So I make a list every single month of the reels that I want to make, any Instagram posts that I want to be sure to make, YouTube videos. For example, here I was being way overzealous. There was no way I was going to make 9 YouTube videos in a month, but I just wanted to have the list of everything so I could pick and choose as I wanted to. And then any blog stuff. On the side here, I would keep track of anything that I needed to do for the Joyful Chaos Book Club, and anything for my LLC. So for example, I just opened a business account, so I wanted to move all of my business expenses over to the account. So now, here's the best part. One, my weeks completely cover that. So if I take a picture of this, right, no one is gonna see the ideas that I had or whatever, which I'm not worried about, honestly. Like, my ideas are not revolutionary. But I can take those photos that I was gonna do or the videos that I wanted to do, and I can break them down into different sort of categories and steps. So for example, for this notebook therapy unboxing, I needed to film it, I needed to edit it, make the thumbnail, schedule the YouTube upload. Then there's a video that never got filmed, well, that happens. And so I can just do that every single week. And the color coding here corresponds to the color coding in the planner up here that I made. And here I'm just using zebra mild liners because I freaking love them. In April, we're doing this fun, this is kind of like a Twilight Sparkle theme, honestly, but I'm really loving it. I did mess up a little bit, and some of this is actually book stuff, but I did all of them as events. That's a book tour. It's fine. But this works really well for me. I think that previously I had tried to break all of this down on Notion, which we'll talk about soon, but that just wasn't working for me because I am just the type of person where I need to write it down. It just has to get written down. If I don't write it down, it's not going to happen. But in terms of just getting something out on the page and then having something to work with for the future, that's where I go with for Notion. My Notion. is for all of my YouTube videos, I keep a list of sort of like my ideas for it, what I want to include. So for example, let's click on this video, how I plan content. We're going to open it in the little sidebar. And so here you can see I want to talk about Laurel, Denise. I want to talk about Notion. I want to talk about Canva, Planoly, possibly also PicTapGo. So that's sort of how that goes. And then I can go in and make a list of literally anything that I want to include. So that's easy. It's so like super duper easy. I also have in here any lists of like future projects that I want to make that like, so for example, I've had this road trip readathon bingo board sitting here for like over a year. We're going to see if it actually happens. I can also plan out like way in the future. So like, well, I guess May isn't really that far in the future yet, but like in my head it is. And we made this on one of my videos in the past in Notion. I also keep my growth tracker. So I track my YouTube growth, which since October has been pretty good. It's just a little bit at a time, and you know, we're getting there. We're on our way to 1,000. And then I also track my Instagram growth. All right, so we've talked about Notion. We've talked about my Laurel Denise planner. Now, once I have my content ready, we go to Planoly. So Planoly is a free service if you're going to post less than 30 things in 30 days, because it'll only let you upload 30 times. Now, I pay for the paid service just because I like to have things scheduled out. So on the left, you can see my Instagram feed. And in that, so you can see the little things with the icon on it are Instagram posts that have already gone up. Things that are unscheduled are unscheduled. So for example, if I wanted to post this Kindle photo tomorrow, I would drag it in. Then it has the photo all up in here. And then it'll let you save hashtags. So you can edit them, add them, or copy them over. You can also, there's some special stuff in here with like auto posts. I don't do that. I just schedule it for midnight, and then when I wake up in the morning, I post it. But you can keep all of your captions here as well, which is nice because I like to sort of have that written out beforehand, because for me, writing the caption and doing all the hashtag stuff is sometimes the hardest part. You can also do it with Reels too, which is really great, just because we know that Instagram promotes things that are edited in their app. But you can download the like thing after you edit it, A, so you don't lose it, but B, so you can just write it all up in here. But I also really like that it has your feed here on the left-hand side so that you don't have to be on your phone looking at your feed trying to figure out what you want to do next. You can drag and drop and move things around and be like, oh, you know, actually, I think I want to post this Get Disco tomorrow. Instead, and then it just adjusts things accordingly. Another tool, which is huge, is Canva. So Canva will open this like bingo that I made. They have tons of templates. It's like a graphic design software kind of, but it's definitely easier, I would say. So we're gonna add a page to this. And so you can see, you can look in the templates, those all automatically pop up. You can search for sort of what you want. So I'm going to search planner. Maybe I want a planner template. And so you can see the ones with the crown are for Canva Pro subscribers. So it's like $12 a month, $100 a year or something like that. And so that gives you access to these like premium templates. Otherwise you would just have to use the free ones. Now, of course, you can also just make your own, right? Like they have all sorts of elements that you can add, some of which are pro and some of which aren't. So like this, I have no idea what this is. Oh, it's because I was putting it on a way background. But like you can make graphics like this. I actually really, really like that. Like that's probably going to be something to like that I use in the future. But and then you can put things on top of it and be like, oh, okay, we're making I don't really know what we're making, we're just kind of doing it. But you can more often than not change the colors of things, rotate them, etc. So it's a super useful software, and it's completely free to start, at least. You'll have to get a little creative with certain items to get them to sort of work how you want. But, for example, things that I've made in Canva, basically all of these story announcements for the Joyful Chaos Book Club made in Canva. It's like a template that then gets adjusted so that it like sort of looks like the book cover, for example, or in in this case, this one originally started with like, it had some weird sombreros on it, and I was like, that's not the vibe, I want tacos. So we put in a whole bunch of those tacos, and I had changed the colors so that they matched the vibe there. So that's it. That's everything that I use to prepare my content. I hope that this was a useful video for you. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll try to link everything. Some of it will be affiliate links, some of it won't be. Let me know which part was the most useful for you, or what potentially you might want me to try out and see if it works better in my system. And as always, happy planning.